Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Late Nights with Warm Whiskey. Tonight we will be discussing and sampling a little of Kentucky's finest straight corn whiskey, that is. So, what we have here tonight is some Mellow Corn Kentucky Straight Corn Whiskey, bottled in bond, produced by Heaven Hill. This is a brand that has been around, I believe, since at least 1945. I don't think the label has underwent any changes since then, but that's part of the beauty of this bottle, which, depending upon the neck of the woods you may reside, this is going to run you anywhere from 12 to 15, 16 bucks. Shouldn't be any more than that. Prices vary state from state. So bear in mind, I try to keep that in mind when I speak of them. But what we have here is a bottled in bond straight corn whiskey with a mash bill of 90% corn, 5% rye, 5% malted barley. And of course, being bottled in bond, that means we are at least 4 years old. You can tell some of this bottle has been drunk. And I recommend this one quite a bit to customers and others who are looking for something unique, and it's definitely unique in its own category. They age it in used barrels, and it has its own unique little qualities to it. So, if you're going to drink Kentucky's finest, you must have a fine piece of glassware. And, well, such a healthy pour was not meant to be poured, but yeah, it's only a couple bucks. And this is something I've experienced with Mellow Corn. I think it gets better the further down the bottle you go. This it's been open. It hasn't been open that long, but it's been sitting for a while, and it's was a little less than half now. A little more than half gone. But at that 100 proof, all that corn, a little bit of spice in there, it's still a very nice oily. Does have some good legs to it. Nice little oily lacing around the glass. The nose is quite pleasant at this, given the fact that this has been opened up for a while. The glassware, of course, is critical. A wonderful light fruit. Almost a orangish peach thing going on right now, which is weird. But you got all that sweet corn in there and just a touch of the rye. So this may not be the easiest to find depending upon where you're at, but if you are able to locate yourself a bottle of this, and I highly recommend purchasing it and keeping it under the context that you're going to experience something that should be judged on its own merits. That is, it is a straight corn whiskey. It is not a bourbon. It is not a rye. And bear in mind that, along with the cost, probably cheaper to produce, reusing barrels than using fresh first use barrels that are required by bourbon, because even with this high of a corn content, you could still get away with trying to make a bourbon as long as it was in a new oak vessel. Who knows how well that would work out with all that corn, but there are a few out there. Balcones makes some corn whiskeys, and I do believe they have a blue corn bourbon. Don't remember the mash bills off the top of my head. All I'll say is I have a baby blue sitting back there that I've never been able to wrap my head around. So for the price in the young age of baby blue versus the pure Kentucky's Finest, I'll stick with the Kentucky's Finest. Very, very sweet vanilla. A nice little spice writing behind it. I definitely can tell there is a touch of rye, and it shows up more than you'd think. But you're definitely getting so much thick, oily sweetness from the corn. You're not going to get an amazing breadth of flavors, I think, out of this. There's some really good, simple, solid notes that ride very well and finish well. Given its proof, it does have a decent finish for being a straight corn whiskey. 100 proof. There's some probably corn moonshines out there in the market. Some of them are 100 proof, most of them 80. There's a lot of flavored things. Of course, we're not talking about real bootleg and moonshine. We're just talking about the things available at your local liquor store. But with all of this said, Mellow Corn is a fantastic bottled and bond whiskey. Deserves a place on your bar or shelf, be it bottom or wherever you choose to put it. This could be pretty divisive. Some people do not like it. Some people do. Whatever you choose to care, that's up to you. I happen to enjoy the Mellow Corn, and never went into it the first time I was able to get Mellow Corn into the store. And I went into it with the expectations that, you're drinking a $12 to $15 whiskey that's bottled and bonded in 100 proof. And it met those expectations quite wonderfully. Yeah, very, very subtle nose, very gentle. The nose definitely has this now that the bottle's down. I'm getting this orange kind of citrus note off the nose. Citrus, honey, and a little bit of spice. A lot of honey, but then when it hits the palate, it's so much sweet vanilla. With this said, there's my quick little review of Mellow Corn Bottled and Bond Kentucky Straight Corn Whiskey. It is Kentucky's Finest because it says so right on the label.